We're on Daf Lamed Beis. We're on the first line on the top of the page. Today's Gemara is going to be speaking, for the most part, about the conversation of Moshe Rabbeinu with the Eibishter after Chet HaEgel. Ready? There's a lot I can share on this plot. Many things from the Rebbe Sichos, but I'm not going to be able to do everything. We'll try to do as much as possible along the way. Amar Rab Chama b'Rab Chanina. Rab Chama b'Rab Chanina said, if not for the following three psukim, one page earlier. The feet of the Yidden, which the Gemara refers to as Seini Yisrael, would have collapsed. One pasuk is the pasuk that we just mentioned before, that the Eibusha admitted to Eliyahu and said that I'm at fault for allowing Yidden to have a Yetzer Hara and do bad. Another pasuk, Tichsev, Hine kachaymer b'yada yetzer, like the clay in the hands of the one that creates the potter. The potter. Kain atem b'yadai, Beis Yisrael. So to Yidden, you are all in my hands. Right? So the Eibush is the one that creates everything in our hearts and our lives. V'chad, a third pasuk, Tichsev asiroisi eslev evim mipsarchem. The Eibush says, I will remove the heart of stone from you. And instead I'll give you a heart of flesh. So it's the Eibusha has the ability to move our Yetzer Hara, and he will remove our Yetzer Hara. Rav Papa mamehacha. Rav Papa says there's another pasuk, Vesruchi etem bekirbechem v'asisi es asher b'chukai telechu. I will place my spirit in you, and I will make that you will follow my statutes. So the Eibusha again has the ability to set us in the right path. Amar Rabbi Lazar said, Moshe tiach dvarim klape ma'ila, similar to what we said yesterday, that Chana and Eliyahu spoke very strongly to Hashem, so to Moshe Rabbeinu spoke in the same way. Shenem, the pasuk says, Vayistalol Moshe el Hashem. Moshe Rabbeinu spoke to Hashem. So the Gemara says, Al tikri el Hashem, don't read it as El Hashem with an aleph, Ela rather read it Al Hashem, like it said before by Eliyahu Hanavi or by Chana. Al Hashem, over here as well, read it Al Hashem. Shekain, the Bei Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov, in the yeshiva by Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov, Kairin la Alfen Einen or la Einen Alfen. They exchange the Ayin with an Aleph and an Aleph with an Ayin. So over here as well, the pasuk is telling you that Moshe Rabbeinu spoke at Hashem, speaking in a very, very sharp language. The Bei Rabbi Yanai Yomri, Rabbi Yanai's yeshiva, they said, Mehacha. From here we see that the Eibishter is the one that brings us to come and do Avedis. What does the pasuk say? V'di zahav. It's because of the gold. What is the pshat in these words, V'di zahav? This is right at the beginning of Chumash Dvarim. So the my V'di zahav, Omri de Bei Rabbi Yanai, Kach Oma Moshe Lefnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. This is what Moshe Rabbeinu says to the Eibishter. Rebbeinu shel olam, Master of the universe, B'shvul kesef v'zav she'eshpat olam Yisrael, because of the abundance of gold and silver that you gave Yidden. At Shomru dai. There was so much gold and silver that Yidden got when they came out of Mitzrayim, and in this week's parsha from the Bizas Hayam, that the Yidden said, enough, we can't carry all of this with us. So who got him shasus egel? That's what caused the Yidden to then take the gold and create a golden calf out of it. Amre de Rabbi Yanai, this is in the yeshiva of Rabbi Yanai, they gave the following metaphor. A lion does not roar and does not go wild from eating from a kupa shel teven, eating some grain, which is not the food of a lion. You feed a lion and he becomes satisfied, so then the lion roars and becomes wild. So when the Yidden have an overabundance of gold and silver, so then that causes them to sin. Metaphor of a person that has a cow that's weak and that's bony, doesn't have any energy. So the person gives it to eat its food, some kind of a vegetables. And now the cow gets strong and it kicks in its owner. It rebels against him. The owner says to it, I see that I'm feeding you too much. Who causes you to kick me? The fact that I gave you to eat this food. Another example, a person has a son, he washes him and smears him, gives him to eat, and he hangs a wallet of money on his neck, and then he places him down at the door of Zainis. What should the child do and not sin? This is the saying that people say, Mali kreise zini bishi. Filling your stomach is a kind of negative thing. When a person is too full, so then it can lead to negativity. Shenemar kimar isam vayizbo, they pasture and they get satisfied. Savu veyaram libam, and their heart raises up and they have a ego to sin. Al-kain shechachuni, and therefore you forget me. Rav Nachman says that you see in another pasuk, V'ram levavcha v'shachachtas Hashem. Your heart will rise up and you'll forget Hashem. V'rabbanan amri mahacha, another pasuk, V'achal v'sava v'dashin, you'll eat, you'll be satisfied and be fat, and then what happens? Upana, and you turn away. V'baisemi mehacha, another pasuk, V'yishman yishurun v'yivat. And Yeshurun, which is a name of Yidden, becomes fat and you kick and you rebel against Hashem. Amar Rab Shmuel Barachmeni, Amar Rab Yenison, Minai Yinshachazar HaKadosh Baruch Hu v'haydu leila Moshe. How do we know that the taina that Moshe Rabbeinu had, that Hashem has caused the Yidden to sin, the Eibusher agreed? Because it says in the pasuk, Shenema v'kesef hirbeisi lehem v'zav asul obal. I gave them too much silver and I gave them too much gold and they used it for avodah zarah. So the Eibusher admitted to this. So let me just point out, before we go to the next section, that this is a famous thing that earlier on already in the Nesius, the Rebbe had a conversation with, I think it was the Amshinover, or maybe I'm forgetting now who it was, that the Rebbe said that you should bench all of Klal Yisrael, that you should be Kapishnitzer, they should be reich, they should be very rich. And he said to the Rebbe, but riches comes along with a lot of Nisyanis. So the Rebbe said, Noch ben Ishmaskim. A person that's poor comes along with more Nisyanis, Ein ani ela badas, and Anias Mavira Adam al Das Kainai. So the Rebbe wanted Al Yidin Zol Zayin Reich, and to use out all the riches of Shem Shemaim to serve the Eibusher. And in later years also, this was the Rebbe's Tanu and the Rebbe's approach. Obviously, a person has to be vigilant, and you have to be aware that the person that has too many luxuries, it could take him off the path. But Afal Pikein, the Rebbe gewollt as Al Yidin Zol Zayin Reich and use it to Shem Shemaim. Now we continue in the conversation that Moshe Rabbeinu has by the time of Chet Egel. Lech Reid. The Eibusher tells Moshe Rabbeinu, go down. My Lech Reid, what is the Eibusher telling Moshe Rabbeinu? Amar Rabbi Lazar, Amar LaKadosh Baruch Hu Moshe. The Eibusher says to Moshe, Moshe, red migdulascha, go down from your greatness. Klum nesati locha gedula ela b'shvil Yisrael. Whatever greatness I have given you is only for Yidden. V'achshav Yisrael chatu. Now the Yidden have sinned. So ata lamali, what do I need you for? Miyad toshash keichel shal Moshe. Immediately Moshe Rabbeinu got weakened. His energy got weakened. V'loi hoyle koyach ledaber, and he had no power to speak. Moshe and Yidden are intertwined. As we know, Moshe is Yisrael, Yisrael hein Moshe. Whatever koyach Moshe Rabbeinu has is one with Yidden, and the Yidden half comes from Moshe. So if Yidden have sinned, that affects Moshe Rabbeinu himself. That's really what's happening over here. So Moshe Rabbeinu got very demoralized. He didn't know what to do. As soon as the Eibusher tells Moshe Rabbeinu, Heref mimenu, leave go of me, vashmidim, and I'll wipe out Yidden. So now Moshe says, Dovazet toli bi. This is dependent on me. Miyad omad v'neschazik b'tfilah. Immediately he strengthened himself to daven. Ubikish rachmem, and he asked for mercy. Mashal melech, the example of a king, or melech basav adam, shakos al benoi, that got very angry at his son. V'hoya makeyu makke gedoyla, and makeyu makke gedoyla, he was hitting his son, he was beating his son. V'hoya oya v'yeshev lefanov, the king's beloved, this king's friend was sitting right there, but he was afraid to utter a word. Amar HaMelech, the king says to his son, if not for my friend that sits right in front of me, harakticha, I would have killed you. So now Omar, this friend says, Davazat toli bi. So this is up to me. Because of me, you're not beating your son to death. Miyad amad v'tziloi. Immediately he talks to the king and calms him down and saves his son. The pasuk continues weiter. Va'ato hanichali veyichar api behem. Allow me, and I will allow my anger to express itself. Va'achalim, and I will destroy Yidden. Va'esa oischalagai gadol v'goyme, and I will turn you into a great nation. Omer Rabavo says, Il mole mikra kosov, if not for the fact that it says this befedish in the Torah, this is not something that any of us could say. Melamed, what this pasuk is teaching me, when it says hanichali, the Eibusher says, leave me alone. Shetafsoi Moshe HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Moshe Rabbeinu grabbed onto the Eibusher, ka'adam shu teifes es chavere bebigdai, like a person that grabs up his friend by his garment. Va'amal afonov, and he said to the Eibusher, Ribono shel olam, ein ani manichacha, I am not leaving go of you, ad shetimcha v'tislach lahem, until you will forgive Yidden. These are all mishalim, and you have to know exactly what these inyanim mean. Okay, you have to know how to learn these gemaras. But let's continue with the pshat over here. Ve'es ha'izchal ha'goy gadol v'goymer, Amar Rabbi Lazar, Amar Moshe lefnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So Moshe Rabbeinu was told, you're going to become a great nation. So why should Moshe Rabbeinu reject that? So Moshe Rabbeinu says, Amar Moshe lefnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Ribono shel olam, Uma kisei shel shalosh shegolim ein yochel lamoid. A chair that stands on three legs cannot stand, which is of course the three legs of the three avos. In the time of your anger, if you'll begin a new nation coming from me, standing on one leg, most definitely will not be able to stand in a time of anger. I'll be embarrassed of my forefathers. Achshav Yoimru, now I'll say, Ru'u Parnas Shehemed Aleim, look at the leader that you've placed upon them. Bikesh Gedula La'atzmai, all he wanted is greatness for himself. V'lei Bikesh Aleim Rachman. And he didn't ask for mercy for Klal Yisrael. Then the pasuk says what happened. Vayachal Moshe Pnei Hashem. Moshe besieged Hashem, he davened to the Eibishter. So this is an unusual expression, Vayachal. So the Gemara is going to bring many pshatim in the pshat of Vayachal. Amar Rabbi Lazar says, Melamid Shamad Moshe betfilah fnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Moshe Rabbeinu stood davening in front of Hashem ad shehechlahu, to the point that he became ill. V'Rava Amar, and Rava says, ad shehefer lo nidrei. He davened until he annulled Hashem's vow. Hashem made a vow. He said, I'm going to destroy Yidden, and Moshe Rabbeinu davened so long that Hashem annulled his vow. Ksiv Hacham, here the pasuk says Vayachal. Ksiv Hasam, and regarding annulling a vow, it says Lo Yachal Dvara. You may not desecrate a vow that you made. You may not. You have to fulfill the vow. So therefore, V'Amar, the master has said, Hu ein meichel. A person cannot annul his own vow. But others could annul your vow. So what happened over here is Moshe Rabbeinu annulled Hashem's vow. Shmuel Amar, Shmuel says another pshat, Melamed, we learn from this, Shamasar Atzmai Lemisa. Moshe Rabbeinu was ready to die for the sake of Yidden. Shanemar, as the pasuk says, V'im ayin. If you will not forgive Klal Yisrael, Mecheni no misifrecha. Erase me from your Sefer Torah. So there's the famous sikha of the Rebbe on this subject of Mecheni no misifrecha, where the Rebbe explains that the connection Moshe Rabbeinu has to Yidden surpasses the connection that he has to Torah. And therefore Moshe Rabbeinu says, if you're not going to forgive Yidden, so then that takes me out of your Torah, because my connection to the Yidden, Yisrael, Afal Pishachot Yisrael, who is beyond the connection to Torah. That's what's expressed by this request of Moshe Rabbeinu to erase me from Torah. Amar Rav Yitzchak, Melamed, this teaches us, Shehechala, the word Vayachal, another pshat, Melamed Shehechala Alei Midas Arachmim. He brought upon them the effect of Midas Arachmim, the Eibusher's mercy. V'Rabbanan Amri, the Rabbanan say, Melamed She'amar Moshe lefnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The word Vayachal teaches us that Moshe Rabbeinu said the following to the Eibusher, Ribono shel olam, Chulin hu lecha ma'aseis kedavar hazeh. It's mundane. It's not pastnish for you, the Eibusher, to do something like this. Vayachal Moshe es pnei Hashem. Another pshat in Vayachal Moshe. Tanya Rabbi Eliezer Agad Loimer. Melamed she'amad Moshe betfilah lefnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Moshe Rabbeinu stood and davened in front of Hashem. Ad she'achzasai achilu. Until he got achilu. What's achilu? My achilu. Amar Rabbi Eliezer. Eish shalatzomes, a fire in the bones. My eish shalatzomes, Amar Abaye, eshta the garmi. Eshta the garmi is the same exact words, just in Aramaic. A fire in the bones, which basically means a fever. Similar to what we said before, that he davened to the point that he became ill. The pasuk says weiter, Moshe Rabbeinu says, L'choir la'Avram li'Yitzchak u'Yisrael avadecha. Remember Avram, Yitzchak, and Yisrael, your servant. Asher nishbata lehem bach, that you swore to them in yourself. My bach, what does that mean? You swore in yourself. Why is Moshe Rabbeinu saying this? Amar Rabbi Lazar, Amar Moshe l'fnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Rebbeinu shel olam, ilmal nishbata lehem b'shamayim v'ha'aretz. If you swore in the name of heaven and earth, hayisi I would say, Kishem sheshamayim v'ha'aretz b'telim. Just as Shemayim v'Aretz will cease to exist, Kach Shavuascha b'Teila. So too, your Shvuah could also be interrupted, could also cease. But v'achshav shenishbata lehem b'shimcha hagadol, you swore to them in your holy great name, Ma shimcha hagadol chai v'kai la'olam v'la'olam e'lamim. Just as your great name is forever, Kach Shavuascha kayemes la'olam v'la'olam e'lamim. The fact that Abisha swore that the Yidden will be his nation forever remains forever. V'atidaber aleim, Moshe Rabbeinu continues and says, V'atidaber aleim, you told the Ovis, Arbez arachim kechoich ve'ashamayim, I will multiply your descendants like the stars in the heavens. V'chala oretz hazayis, and then the pasuk continues and says, V'chala oretz hazayis asher amarti. The earth over here, the Eretz Yisrael, which I have said I will give Yidden. So the question here is, Hay asher amarti, this is Moshe Rabbeinu speaking to the Eibishter. So why does it say asher amarti? Asher Amar Tomi Bayalei. Moshe Rabbeinu is telling the Eibishter, you have said to the Ovis. Not Asher Amarti, it's not the Eibishter speaking. Amar Rabbi Lazar. So Rabbi Lazar answers, no, so we're going to have to say that the pasuk should be divided in half. Ad kan divrei Talmud. Until it says, V'chal haaretz hazeh Asher Amarti, this is the words of the student. This is the words of Moshe. Mikan ve'eleich divrei Arav. From here onward, it's the Eibishter speaking, where the Eibishter is responding to Moshe Rabbeinu, saying that I will do what you want. And therefore, the Eibishter is saying, Asher Amarti, like I have said, and therefore I will do what I said. That's one pshat. Rab Shmuel ben Achmeni Yomar. Rab Shmuel ben Achmeni says another pshat. Elu ve'elu divrei Talmud. It's all part of the words of Moshe Rabbeinu. So why does he say Asher Amarti? Elakach ana Moshe l'fnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. This is what Moshe Rabbeinu says. Rebbeinu shalaylam. Devanim sha'amarta li leicha merlem li Yisrael b'shmi halachti v'amarti lehem b'shimcha. The things that you have told me that I should go and tell Yidden in your name, I went, I told it to them. So Rashi explains, this refers to the time of the Sneh. By the Sneh, the Eibishter tells Moshe Rabbeinu, go tell Yidden, I'm going to take them out of Mitzrayim and bring them to Eretz Yisrael. Amarti. Moshe Rabbeinu, when he says, Ha'aretz hazeh asher amarti, I said this, I share this message with Yidden. So now, Achshov, Mani Yom Elehem, what am I going to come and tell Yidden? That the Eibishter is not going to fulfill his promise, that I came and told them that in your name? Pasuk continues weiter. Moshe Rabbeinu said, "Mi bilti yechayles Hashem," that the Goyim are going to say that the Eibishter cannot bring the Yidden into Eretz Yisrael. Fragt the Gemara, Yachel Hashem yibayalei. It should have used the word Yachel, the Lashon Zachar. Whenever it speaks in the Torah about the Eibishter, it always uses Lashon Zachar. Why here does it say Lashon Nekeva? Amar Rabbi Lazar, Amar Moshe l'fnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Rebbeinu shel olam, achshav yomru umas ha'olam. Now the nations of the world are going to say, Toshash koichek in a keva, he's been weakened like in a keva, ve'eni yachal ha'hatzel, and he can't save the Yidden, he can't bring them at Eretz Yisrael. Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu Moshe, so the Eibishter responded, but v'halekvaro nisim gvuris she'asisel malayam. They saw the great miracles that I've done on the Yam, and they'll know that it's not because I don't have the ability to bring them to Eretz Yisrael. Amar lefanav, Moshe Rabbeinu responded and said, Rebbeinu shel olam, adayin yesh lehem loymar, they would still say, L'melech echad yochel lamed. He could stand up to one king, to a parei. But l'shloishim ve'echad malachim, 31 kings that were then in Eretz Yisrael, any yochel lamed. Against them he can't stand up. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, minayin shechazar HaKadosh Baruch Hu v'hoydel elam Moshe. From where do we know that Moshe Rabbeinu agreed to Moshe's taina? That Hashem agreed to Moshe's taina. Shenemar, the pasuk says, "Vayomer Hashem salachti kidvarecha." I'll forgive Yidden like what you have spoken. Tana the way Rabbi Shmuel, kidvarecha, like the words that you've said, that asidim u'masaylam loymakein. That the nations of the world are going to say this. Ashrei Talmud sheRabbi moideloi. Fortunate is a student that his teacher admits to him. Then the pasuk, another pasuk where it says, so where we can learn out a similar thing. V'ulam chai ani. The Eibishter says, "V'ulam chai ani," but I am alive. What does this mean? Amar Rabbi Yitzchak, melamed she'amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu LeMoshe. The Eibishter says to Moshe Rabbeinu, "Moshe hechisani b'dvarecha." Moshe Rabbeinu, you have invigorated me with your words.
Interesting. This is on
It's all?
And that's Lamed Beis.
Lamed Beis. Yeah, I mean, this is Moshe, the Eibishter drawing out of Moshe Rabbeinu to be Melamed Schus for Klal Yisrael and bring out the deepest connection that there is between Yidden and Moshe. It's just the way the Eibishter draws it out.
It's ready for your Shvan. I know see what come.
Dorish Absam Loi La'oilam Yisader Adam Shvach Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. A person should always first say the praise of the Eibishter, V'achar kach yispalal, and then you daven for your own needs. Minalam, from where do we see this? Moshe Rabbeinu himself. Tichsev v'aschana la'Hashem be'esahi, when he davened to the Eibishter. So what does it say there in the pasuk? What was the seder of his davening? Uksev Hashem Elokim atachi loisa lahares es avdocha es godlocha es yodcha chazaka Hashem mikel b'shamayim v'aretz asher yaskem ma'asecha v'gvureisecha. So he speaks about the greatness of the Eibishter, who's as great as you, and then Uksev Basrei, and only afterwards the pasuk says Ebrano v'ere es aretz ateva v'goymer, that I should be able to cross the land and enter into Eretz Yisrael. So here there's a siman in the Gemara. Before we go to the subjects that the Gemara is going to discuss in Amud Beis. Siman, Maisim, Tzedakah, Carbon, Koyin, Tainus, Minol, Barzal. We'll see. These simanim, by the way, also have a big significance of Pi Kabbalah. It's holy stuff. You have all kinds of interesting simanim in the Gemara. Dr. Gemara, Omar Rabbi Lazar said, next page. Gedailat Fila, Yaiser, Mimaisim, Toivim. When a person davens, that's greater than just the Maisim Tovim itself. Okay, so as Taisus explains over here, what that means is a person that has Maisim Tovim together with Tefillah, that's much greater than just Maisim Tovim alone. She'ein lecha gadol b'Maisim Tovim yesem Moshe Rabbeinu. There's nobody that had more Maisim Tovim than Moshe Rabbeinu himself. Afal pikein, but yet loinena ela b'Tefillah. He was only answered not in the schus of all the Maisim Tovim that he did, but in the schus that he davened. Shenemar al Taisev daber elai. Do not speak to me anymore. Moshe Rabbeinu davened so much to the Eibishter, and v'samach lei, right afterwards, the Eibishter gave in partially to what Moshe Rabbeinu wanted. Alei Reish Piska, go on top of the mountain, and you'll see Eretz Yisrael. So the Rebbe explains in a Sikha that the point the Gemara is saying over here is a Yid could never think to himself that because of my Maisim Tovim I deserve. Because the Eibishter is be'ein areich, and whatever we do, we don't deserve anything. Whatever we get from the Eibishter is b'derech tzedakah v'chesed. And therefore, when a person recognizes that, and even along with his Maisim Tovim, he davens to the Eibishter, and he asks Hashem to do a tzedakah and chesed with him, because he realizes that he's not deserving for anything, that's when the Eibishter answers him.
Doesn't sound like Chana and Moshe got that memo.
About what? About the
past two blot
the davening.
The way they were davening, yeah.
Sagt die Gemara weiter, V'amar Rabbi Lazar, Gedoyla, Tainus, Yosem and Tzedakah. Fasting has a great advantage even over giving tzedakah. My timer. What's the advantage of fasting? When you fast, it's infliction on the body, and you're giving tzedakah with money. We know what the Alter Rebbe writes in the Geras HaTshuva though. The Alter Rebbe says, Bizman hazeh, when the gufim are so weak that we don't have the ability to fast, and it's weak and doesn't allow a person to learn Torah, you should give tzedakah in replacement for your fast. Not only that, there's a famous story with the Alter Rebbe and the Mittler Rebbe. The Mittler Rebbe, the Alter Rebbe saw him once that he fasted, and the Alter Rebbe gave him a knas, and he didn't allow him to enter, I think 3 times into a Maimer Chassidus to listen to Alter Rebbe saying a Maimer. And for the Mittler Rebbe, such a knas, not being allowed to listen to a Maimer, was like the end of the world. The famous story of the Mittler Rebbe, that when they offered him a shidduch, he said, whatever shidduch will be first so I can learn Torah. I can hear Torah from the Alter Rebbe. But the Alter Rebbe saw that he fasted, he didn't allow him to come and hear a Maimer. So the Alter Rebbe, Ki Yudua Barichis, was not a big fan of Tanesim, and I said that you should replace Tanesim for our Dur, you have to replace it with an abundance of tzedakah. Davening is greater than the karbanis that were brought in the Beis HaMikdash. Shenemar, as the pasuk says, Lama li roiv sivcheichem. The Eibush is complaining, what do I need your karbanis for? This is in the times over there by the Musar that Yeshai is giving to Yidden. What do I need your karbanis for? And then uksiv, after that it says, ubefarischem kapeichem. What do I need you to spread out your hands and daven to me? The fact that it says, I don't need your karbanis, and then the Eibush adds, and I also don't need your tefillis, that shows that tefillis is more powerful. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, kol kayin sheharages hanefesh. A kohen that has murdered somebody, lo yisa es kapov, is not allowed to duchen, is not allowed to do the mitzvah of birchas kohenim. Shenamar, the pasuk there continues and says, Yadechem domim aleyu. The Eibusher rejects parischem kapechem, which is a kayin that spreads out his hands by birchas kayin. And why? Because your hands are filled with blood. And this is a halacha that's brought in Shulchan Aruch, and this refers even to a kayin that killed somebody b'shaygik.
Even bisman hazeh.
Correct, even bisman hazeh. But the Alter Rebbe does bring in Shulchan Aruch a second opinion that if the person did tshuva, so then he could bench birchas kayinim. From the day that the Beis HaMikdash was destroyed, the gates of Tefillah are locked. I cry and I call out to Hashem, Sasam Tefilasi. But my tefillahs they're locked, they're closed off. The Eibush doesn't allow it through. Or even though the gates of davening are locked, but sharet dimala ninalu. The gates of tears are not locked. Shenema shimat filasi Hashem v'shavasi azina el demasi al techrash. Only if it follows up with demasi, with tears, then the Eibusha is not quiet.
So if it's not locked, why is there gates?
If it's
never locked, why is there gates? So
Rav,
if it's fake tears.
Okay, when fake tears redt man nicht. Man redt wegen emes Menschen redt man. I hear you. Rave loy gazar tanise beyayme de ive. Rave did not make any not make a gezeda for people to fast on a cloudy day. He said a cloudy day implies something. Mishum shenema sakaisa ba'onon lach me'aver tefillah. The Eibishter wraps himself in clouds and doesn't allow the tefillahs to pass through. So on a cloudy day, he did not make a gzeda for a tainus. I guess he had a way of forecasting the what the weather is going to be. Or if he saw it's going to be cloudy, so there was no fast on that day. Rabbi Lazar said, from the day that the Beis HaMikdash was destroyed, Nifseka Chaimes Barzel ben Yisrael Avim Shebashamayim. There's a separation of a iron wall between Yidden and the Eibishter. Shenema vata kachlacha machvas barzel. Take a pan made out of metal. V'nesata is a kir barzel beincha uvein ha'ir, which will be a separation of a wall between you and the city, between the Yidden and the city. Right, so the pshat of this Gemara is that Rebbe brings us in a sikha and says, of course, this doesn't mean that there's a separation between Yidden and the Eibishter, that the Yidden have no relationship and can't daven and connect to the Eibishter. It means this refers to the hell and v'hester of Galus. There's a separation that we don't see Gilui Elokus, like it was Bismasha Beis HaMikdash Kayim, when things flowed Mulmayla Lamata and were revealed. In time of Galus, we don't see that revelation. A person that's mayrich in his davening, ain't philosophy chazeres reikam. The Eibusha does not allow his tefillah to go unanswered, empty. Minalam, from where do we know this? Mi Moshe Rabbeinu. Shenema ve'espalal al Hashem. Moshe Rabbeinu davens to the Eibusher. Uksiv basrei. What does it say afterwards? Vayishma elai gam bepamehi. And the Eibusher listened to me this time as well. So as we learned before in the Gemara, that Moshe Rabbeinu davened with a tremendous arichas, and the Eibusher listened to Moshe Rabbeinu. Eini, is this true? A person that's mayrich in his davening, and he's ma'ayin in his davening, and he exerts his energy in his davening, and he's waiting for Hashem to answer him. That's what ma'ayin ba means. He's hoping and waiting that Hashem should listen to his davening. Saif bali de kev leiv. He might go out with a very broken heart. Shenemar, the pasuk says, techeles mimushacha machla leiv. A person that is hoping and he's waiting and he davens long and he waits Hashem mushacha, drawn out, and he's waiting Hashem to answer him, machla this will bring sickness to the heart.
See, Moshe Rabbeinu Taka got sick.
Yeah, like it said before, exactly. Maita kante. So a person that gets ill in this sense, what should he do? Yasik b'Torah. He should learn Torah. Shenema ve'etz chayim. Taiva ba. If you connect to the tree of life, which is Torah, Taiva ba, your desires will come. Ve'ein Eitz Chaim ele Torah. Eitz Chaim refers to Torah. Shenemar, as the pasuk says, Eitz Chaim hi lemachzikim ba. That it's a tree of life for those that grab onto the Torah. So the question over here is it the right thing for a person to daven ba'arichas or not? One place it says yes, one place it says not. And for the Gemara, like Ashya. There's a case of a person that's davening ba'arichas and he's waiting. He's waiting for the answer. He's ma'ayin ba, why isn't the Eibishter answering me? Then the person might be very, very disappointed. Ha the Meirich v'loy mayim ba. He davens with a tremendous kavanah, but he's not standing there and waiting for Hashem to answer him. He has the betachin in his davening that the Eibishter will answer him, so then he won't be disappointed. If a person sees that he davened and he wasn't yet answered, he should not get disappointed, but yachsav yispalo, let him daven again. Shenema kaveh Hashem, hope to Hashem, chazak v'yametz libecha, strengthen your heart, v'kaveh Hashem, and hope to Hashem again. It says a double lashon, daven again and daven again. It's like a child. A child turns to a father and is a nudnik. He asks again, he asks again, he asks again. Doesn't get tired of asking. The Rebbe brings us in the Sikha that we're learning the Sikha this week's Parshas B'Shalach, when the Yidden cried out to Hashem by the Yamsov, even though they had no tafsumness avaisam. The Yidden had no reason to daven them. They had a promise of the Eibusher that He's going to save them, and the Yidden had the Emunah, but they cried out to Hashem anyways. That's the nature of a Yid. A Yid keeps on turning to Hashem again and again. There are three things that need bolstering. Ve'eloheina, this is what they are. Teire u'maisem tevim, tefillah, and derech eretz. These four things need constant chizuk. Teire u'maisem tevim minayin. From where do we see that Teire and maisem tevim need chizuk? Shnema, the pasuk says, rak chazak ve'amatz, strengthen yourself, ma'oid, lishmer ve'lasais, to keep and do what it says, kechol ha'teire, as it says in the Teire. Chazak b'teire, strengthen yourself in learning Teire, ve'amatz, strengthen yourself in maisem tevim, to fulfilling maisem tevim. Tefillah minayim, from where do we know that davening needs constant chizuk? Shenema, the pasuk we just brought, kaveh el Hashem, chazak v'yametz libecha, v'kaveh el Hashem, strengthen yourself and daven again. Derech eretz minayim, derech eretz refers, Rashi says, to a person being motivated to do his parnasa that he has to. And that Rashi says it also refers to a ish mulchama that's going out to battle, needs constant strengthening and motivation to go out and battle with a vigor. The pasuk says, "Chazak v'nischazek ba'ad amenu." Before they went out into battle, so he says, let's strengthen our hearts for the sake of our nation, to go and fight for our nation. The Gemara continues and says, "V'atoim etzion azavani Hashem," and Yidden say, Hashem has left me, v'Hashem shechechoni, and Hashem has forgotten me. Fragt the Gemara, Hainu azuva, Hainu shchucha. Pasuk here is saying a double lashon, left us and forgot us. Amar Reish Lakish says, Omra Knesset Yisrael of Nea Kadosh Baruch Hu, Yidden say to the Eibishter, Rebbeinu Shalaylam, Adam Neise Isha al Ishtei Rishayna. A person marries a wife and then he marries a second wife. Zeiche Maisa Rishayna, he still remembers his first wife. He has a second wife, but he remembers his first wife. Ata, you though, azaftani v'shechachtani. You have left me and married a second wife, and you also completely forgotten about me. Amallah Kadosh Baruch Hu, the Eibishter responds to Yidden. Biti, my daughter. Yud Beis Mazolis Barasi Barakia. There are 12 Mazolis, 12 constellations I've created in the heaven and the sky. Val kol Mazel o Mazel, and for each Mazel that there is, Barasi lo Shloishim Chayil. There are 30 Chayil, 30 commanders. Val kol Chayil v'Chayil, Barasi lo Shloishim Ligyon. There are 30 Ligyon, which are commanders above them. And above those commanders, there's another 30 commanders above them. There's another 30 commanders above them. Again, going higher and higher up in the chain of command. Malachim, correct. I've hung up in the sky 365,000 stars, corresponding to the days of the cycle of the year of the sun. And all of these have all been created for your purpose. And you say to me, that I've left you and I've forgotten you. Hatishkach isha ula. Does a mother forget her young child, her young baby? Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So the Eibusher says to the Yidden, the Gemara teaches this word ula now a bit differently. Kulum eshkach eilis elim. Will I forget the karbanis eila that you brought from rams, upitrei rechmim, and the karbanis of the firstborn that comes out of the mother's womb, she'kraftu lafane b'midbar, that you brought for me in the midbar? Amr Lafan of the Yidden respond to the Eibishter and say, Rebbeinu Shalaylam, Master of the universe, Hoyel vein Shikcha lefnei Chisech v'decha. So if there's no forgetfulness by the Kisei HaKavod, Shema litishkach li Maisa Egel. So perhaps you also won't forget the Avedis that Yidden did, the Maisa Egel that Yidden did. Allah the Eibishter responds and says, Gam Eila tishkachna. Those things I forget. What the Eibishter wants to forget, he forgets. So Amr Lafan of Rebbeinu Shalaylam, so Hoyel v'yesh Shikcha lefnei Chisech v'decha. There are things that you forget. Shema tishkach li Maisa Sinai. Maybe you will forget the fact that you gave us the Torah and you chose us by Har Sinai. Allah the Eibishter responds, Va'anoichi lo yeshkachecha. And I will not forget you. I will not forget that I gave you the Torah and chose you by Har Sinai. When the pasuk says, I forget these, the Maisa Egel, this refers to the Maisa Egel, and Rashi says, how do we know that Eile refers to Maisa Egel? Because when the Yidden made the Egel, they said, Eile Le'acha Yisrael. V'anoichi lo yeshkachacha ze Maisa Sinai. And Anoichi refers to Maisa Sinai because by Matan Torah, the Eibishter said, Anoichi Hashem Elokecha. We go back to the Mishnah. In the Mishnah it said, Chasidim Arishayim Yishayin Sha'achas. Before they began to daven, they didn't walk into Bismedrash and immediately begin to daven. They would first prepare and wait for an hour before they began davening. From where do we know this? Ashrei Yoshvei Veisecha. Fortunate are those that sit in your house in the Bismedrash. So first you have to come and be Yoshvei Veisecha. Right, and then afterwards it says Oid Yalalucha Sela. But first you have to wait, Yoshvei, to wait before you daven. You should also not rush out of davening immediately, but also wait for an hour. First, when you finish davening, thank Hashem, and then Yeshri Yisharim Espanecha, and then the Yisharim go out and sit and go out in their ways. Tanya Nami Yachid, we learned the same in a Braisa. Mispalel, one that davens, Sarich Sheyishe Sho'achas Kaidim Tfilasai. He should prepare and wait for an hour before his davening. V'sho'achas Achat Tfilasai, and 1 hour after his davening.
This guy's got time.
The Gemara is going to address that. Kaidim Tfilasai, before davening Minayin Shenema Asher Yeshve V'secha. First, you have to come and sit, and then you daven. La'achat Tfilasai Minayin Dechsev Ach Tzadikim Yoid L'Shmecha Yeshvi Yisharim Espanecha. We learned in another Braisa, Chsidim Arishainim, the early Chsidim, Hayushayin Sha'achas, they would wait and prepare 1 hour for davening, and then Umispal and Sha'achas, and would daven for an hour. V'chayzin V'shayin Sha'achas, and then would wait after davening for an hour.
What's the shayin? What is
the shayin means to the hisbainanus. I mean, to prepare before the davening. Yeah, for sure. And then afterwards, to absorb the davening, there's a famous lashon in the Sikha the Frierdiker Rebbe, as the ikke davening is the nochen davening. There's the fahren davening, there's the davening, and there's the nochen davening. By a chassid, the ikke davening is the nochen davening. If a person just walks away from his davening, so then the davening doesn't have an effect on the person. So that's what he's saying here. The shah achas after the davening.
There's also an Indian of before davening could be that through your meditation you kind of already get into the Indian of davening.
That itself is the davening? V'chimei achas, and now the Gemara asks the question that Shimshi said, so the davening 3 times a day. So you might have thought until now this is only Shachris. This is 3 times a day. This is what their davening was. So v'chimei achas sheshayin teisha shas bayayim. So if their davening takes up 9 hours of their day, betfilah and davening, so teirasan eich mishtameres. So how did the Torah that they learn, could they keep the Torah that they learn? And when do they work? When do they make a parnasa? Ella, the answer is because they are chsidim, so therefore teirasa mishtameres, whatever they learn, the Eibush makes that it should be kept and absorbed in them and remain there. Umalachtam is bareches. Whatever malacha they do in a short amount of time, the Eibush benches the malacha that they do. So there's a famous Fabrengen, a Purim Fabrengen, when the Rebbe spoke about this Gemara. The same Gemara is in the Yerushalmi, but there instead of saying Mishtameres, it says Mizbareches. That the Torah, not only regarding Malacha, but regarding Torah as well. That the Torah that they learn gets blessed. Not only what they learn and know gets kept and preserved in them, but it gets blessed. It gets the Torah that they learn is massive more. It grows in them. And the Rebbe then shared the story of the Rogatchover. That the Rogatchover, I think the Frierdiker Rebbe asked him to go and attend a certain very important meeting of Gedolei Yisrael regarding very important matters that was negayat to Klal Yisrael, and the Rogatchover says he's not sure if he could attend because it's totally in a machlokes of the Bavli and the Yerushalmi. as in the classic Rogatchover style. So what was he referring to? He was referring to this Gemara. He said, look, my tafkid in this world is to sit and learn Torah. So now the question is, if I'm going to go and attend this meeting, what's going to happen? If we paskin like the Bavli that it's only mishtameres, so then that's not enough. But if it's mizbareches, if I could go and attend the meeting and the Torah will continue growing in me, so then I can go to the meeting. That's what the Rebbe said in the Fabrengen them. Okay, go to the next shtickle of the Mishnah. Afila hamelech shayel b'shloimai. Lo yeshivenu. When you're in the middle of davening Shemay Nesra, even if a king comes and greets you, you do not respond to him. Amar Rav Yosef said, Lo yishanu ela l'malchi Yisrael. This is only said about a Jewish king. Aval l'malchi akom paisik. But if it's a Goyish king, you have to stop. Rashi says, he shouldn't kill you. The life is in danger. Meisvei, the Gemara asks a question. Hamispalel, person that's davening, v'ro anos bo kenegdoi. He sees someone on anos, which is someone that can kill you, comes towards you. Ro korin bo kenegdoi. He sees a korin coming towards you. What's that? If you mind.
Ruffian.
Huh?
A ruffian. I don't know what's that.
Gangster.
Huh?
Gangster.
Gangster. Okay, that's the right translation. Good, thank you. Lo yehei mafsik. He should not daven. What should he do? Elo mekatzer v'oile. Complete your davening as quickly as you can, and then you should go away from your davening. But it doesn't say that you should stop immediately. We just said that if you see a guy that's coming towards you, a king, a guy that can kill you, you should stop immediately. So the Gemara answers, no, very simple, like kashi, it's not a question. Oh, the efshel lekatzer. If you could complete your Shemay Nesra, if you're towards the end, and you're about to finish, so then finish before you walk away. We learned in a Braise, Maise b'chosid echad. There was a story with a chosid that happened the following. Shoyim mispal baderech, and he was davening on the way. Ba'asar echad, a minister comes towards him. The nasan leishalim, and he greeted this yid that was davening. V'lei hechse leishalim, and the yid was in the middle of davening and he didn't respond. This minister waited until he finished davening. After the yid finished davening, Amalei, the minister says to him, Reika, you good for nothing. It says in your Torah, Rak hisham alacha, shmor nafshecha, guard yourself and guard your soul. Uksiv and ishmatim moila nafshesechem. You have to guard your life. You're not allowed to put your life in danger and daven and not respond to me. When I greeted you, why didn't you respond to me? If I would cut your head off with a sword, who would avenge your blood? No one is here to save you. Who would come and avenge your blood? So the Yid answered him, Hantinli, wait here, I will appease you, I will explain you where I was coming from. The Yid explained him and said, if you were standing in front of a king of flesh and blood, and while you're standing there in front of a king, your friend comes and greets you. Would you respond to him standing in front of a king? So the minister says to him, no, of course not. And if you would respond to this friend standing in front of the king, what would be done to you? So the minister says, standing in front of the king, responding to my friend, they would cut off my head with a sword. So now the Yid tells this minister of Allah, if so, it's how much more so is it in my case? If you are standing in front of a king of flesh and blood, today he's here and tomorrow he's buried. And then you're afraid you would not interrupt standing in front of a king. I'm standing in front of the Eibishter that lives forever. Most definitely, I can't interrupt. Immediately, this minister was appeased. His life was saved and he was able to go home.
You did it.